Uh, First of all, when we start the preparation, the first thing we need to know that there are few basic things that is very essential. Like if you are having geography optional, you must be very much acquainted with the world regional geography. So first thing that we are going to start with is world regional geography. Here we are going to discuss the countries of the world, countries, and within countries we'll discuss the climate of that country, vegetation of that country, soil type of that country, mineral resources, what all resources are and those what all resources are available in the country, and fifth, industries, sixth, mountains, plateaus, rivers. So this way you become very much acquainted. Once you know the nature of climate, nature of vegetation, nature of soil, types of crops grown over there, what are the mineral resources, what are mineral resources determine the industries, mountains, plateaus, plain. So you become very much acquainted with it. And this helps you a lot in geography optional as well as GS geography. This even helps you in world this prelims. Certain questions are directly from what all countries surround this particular lake, है ना? What are the major lakes? What are the rift valleys? Isn't it? So here we are going to have a holistic discussion about the world regional. That is very important. Now, this will take at least 15 days. In 15 days, we will discuss each and every country of the world and in detail, and you will have a very holistic view, holistic understanding of everything. Now, second thing that we discuss after this, that is syllabus. Now, people usually confine themselves to the UPSC syllabus of geography optional. That's good. But you need to have understanding by knowing the case studies. Until and unless you know the case studies, there is no point of discussing the syllabus. You must know the syllabus. We'll discuss the syllabus, whole syllabus, in depth. Every topic, every aspect of syllabus, starting with physical geography, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environment, human geography also, perspectives, population settlement, economic geography, regional planning, models, paper 2. Now, one thing is very important, that is current developments. Yes. Current developments are very important. You see, why do people fail to fetch marks in geography? The point is that they keep the content static. Now, books are static and questions are dynamic. Now, when we say paper 1 deals with principles and concepts, but while discussing those principles and concepts, you have to correlate those principles and concepts with the case studies, that is real world case studies. So, in current development, every month, we discuss magazines like Geography and You, Yojana, and Down to Earth. Updates from these three magazines are provided every month, beginning from January 2020. Each and every month, current updates until your selection, until this course continues. Even if the course is over in 5 months, still you will keep getting those updates. And not only updates, you will get class discussion of those updates. Now, what happens? Suppose a topic is there and it is having 7 pages, maybe only 3 to 4 pages may be relevant. So, if you study the updates, you end up studying whole pages, wasting your time. So, I personally study those updates and discuss those updates in class, and you will get those discussions. That is very important. You can finish it in 10 pages in half an hour if you listen to those updates. So these updates are very much relevant in paper 1 as well as in paper 2. In paper 2, you can cite various case studies. In paper 1, you can cite various case studies. This helps you in fetching marks. Moreover, geography as such covers large part. When you study these updates from Yojana and Down to Earth, Geography and You will find almost every current development is related to geography in one way or other. If you see, Geography is having such vast arena, such vast coverage that almost every aspect of life is touched by geography. So the benefit that you have, the spillover effect of geography is that by studying those updates, large chunk of your current updates, current development is covered. So if you study geography and those updates, which cover disaster management, global climate change, global warming, ecology, environment, all those developments. So you can easily cover 50 questions out of 100 in prelims and at least 300 marks in GS mains, apart from covering geography. And these current developments will enable you to fetch good marks in geography. Now, having done this, now the most important part is tests. We have topic-wise tests like geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. You will take the test, you write it, I'll evaluate it, and I will precisely tell you what all changes you have to make in your answers. Now, after tests, then comes the next part. Now, then certain questions in UPSC, they are asked from out of syllabus. So, after having tests of the syllabus, then we cover topics which are not explicitly mentioned in syllabus. Like every year you find certain questions like glacial topography, glaciofluvial topography like drumlins, or karst topography, or permafrost. So these topics are not exclusively in syllabus, but questions have been asked. So the list of topics that we are going to cover, once this syllabus is over, then test will start, and in between we'll keep on covering these topics which are not in syllabus, but questions are frequently asked. So this way we are going to cover this syllabus holistically in 5 months. Although syllabus as such gets covered in 4 months, but 1 month is exclusively kept for current updates, topics which are not in syllabus but questions have been asked, discussion of previous year's questions, and these current updates. So this is a strategy and is a foolproof strategy. Once you do the world regional, then you do the syllabus, then you the current updates are simultaneously covered, and this tests. And having taken the tests, then you cover those topics which are not in syllabus. This takes a lot of time. There are numerous questions in previous years which have been asked from topics which are not explicitly in syllabus. And apart from that, we'll cover certain more topics, although they are not in syllabus, explicitly not in syllabus, but we'll cover them. So this way, you will have a holistic command over the subject. And even after this course is over 5 months, you will get the recordings of the same lectures that will run for further 7 months, and you will be allowed to raise any query for further 7 months, and even you can take the tests. So this is an added advantage. So with this, I am going to start with World Regional. Now in World Regional, we are going to start with very basics, which are very essential. Now, you see, let us start with very basics. Overall, there are 7 continents. Overall, there are 7 continents. First is this North America. North America includes Greenland. Although Greenland is a part of Denmark. Denmark is a European country, but it lies in North America. This is North America. We'll discuss. This is South America. This is Africa. This is Europe. Remaining is Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. Now, there are 7 continents: North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. Now, let us see. Come to North America. North America kaise? This is North America. This is North America. Now, let us see what all countries make up North America. What all countries? You see Canada, USA, Mexico, isn't it? If you go down, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and then El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama. These are Central American countries. And then Caribbean islands. Now, North America, if you see, is made up of Anglo America plus Greenland plus Middle America. Now, Anglo America is simply Canada plus USA. That is Anglo America. Middle America, if you see the map, there is Mexico, then Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Panama. Middle America is made up of three parts. One is Mexico. Eraser. Middle America is made up of one, Mexico. This is Mexico. Plus 7 Central American countries. This is Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. These seven countries make up the Central America. And after this, third part of Middle America is Caribbean islands. Caribbean islands are basically, if you take this to be if this is Gulf of Mexico, and after this these are Central American countries. Then Caribbean islands are divided into two groups. Caribbean islands are divided into two groups. One is Greater Antilles and second is Lesser Antilles. Now, the Middle America is made up of three parts: Mexico, 7 Central American countries, that is these 7 countries, and Caribbean islands. Caribbean islands consist of two groups: Greater Antilles and Lesser Antilles. Greater Antilles include Cuba, these Bahamas, group of island, Bahamas, Jamaica below Cuba. East of Cuba, there's a Hispaniola Island. This island is divided into two countries. This is Hispaniola Island. Western part is known as Haiti. Eastern part is known as Dominican Republic. And further east lies Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, and Bahamas. These islands constitute Great Antilles. And if you see on the eastern side, a group of small islands is there. A group of small islands to the east of this, a group of small islands is there that is known as Les Antilles. If you see in your atlas, Les Antilles made up of Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Martinique Island, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, and Barbados. These islands make up Les Antilles. So North America, as such, North America is made up of these three parts. The Middle America is made up of these three parts. That is Middle America is made up of these three parts. That is Mexico, Central America. Central America comprises of 7 Central American countries plus Caribbean, Caribbean islands. Island. वो मैप और कहाँ से निकाला नॉर्थ अमेरिका का? So you see, North America is made up of Anglo America, that is Canada and USA, Greenland. Middle America is made up of Mexico, 7 Central American countries: Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. Middle America is made up of Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador. El Salvador is not given there. El Salvador is just below Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. This is Central America. And these Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Bahamas, they make up Great Antilles. And these are Lesser Antilles. These islands are Lesser Antilles. That is Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, Martinique Island, the St. Lucia, Castries, and this St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados. These make up Les Antilles. So North America, if you see, comprises of these countries. Now, South America. South America is southern part. South America is southern part. This. South America is this. South of North America. South America, clarity नहीं आ रही इसमें. If you open your atlas, you will see South America comprises of Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia. Now, these are the 13 countries that make up the South America. If we add Middle America to South American continent, if Middle America is added, then it is known as Latin America. You must remember, Latin America is not a continent. South America is continent. Latin America is that geographical region that was colonized by Portuguese and Spanish people from Iberian Peninsula. Latin America is a geographical region. South America is a continent. If we add Middle America to South America, then it becomes Latin America. That is that region that was colonized by Spanish and Portugal. Portuguese colonized Brazil, and rest of the area was colonized by Spanish. Now, after North America and South America, next is Europe, First, we'll discuss the countries, in just location of the countries, and then we'll discuss in detail the mountains, rivers, mineral resources of every country. I'll make the map of every country over here, and I'll discuss the mineral resources, soil, climate, vegetation, everything. But first of all, you must be aware about the location of the countries. What all countries are in which continents? Now, next is Europe. यहाँ से यूरोप का मैप नहीं इसका, तो इसमें कर देते हैं. Now see the countries of Europe. First of all, start with Iberian Peninsula. Portuguese, Spain. You must open up your atlas. Open up your atlas and see Portuguese, Spain, then France. Then adjoining France, you will find Luxembourg, Belgium in the north, then Germany in the northeast. In the eastern side, you will find Switzerland and Italy. Then further east, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg are on the eastern side of Germany. To the east of Germany lies Poland. Below Poland and Germany is Czech Republic. Now, if you move eastward from France, then you will see Switzerland, Austria, Hungary. Above Hungary, you will find Czech Republic. To the east of Czech Republic, you will find Slovakia. Slovakia is there. Slovakia, below Slovakia, you will find Hungary, then Serbia, isn't it? Now, there are certain countries known as Balkan states. These Balkan states are on the eastern side of Adriatic Sea. Now, if you see Adriatic Sea lies to the, this is Adriatic Sea. This is Adriatic Sea. And basically, if you see the countries, see Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Montenegro, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Serbia, and this is Hungary. Hungary, and this is Slovakia. Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, Moldova, Ukraine, Belarus. These countries, that is Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Montenegro, Moldova, Greece, Macedonia, Serbia, these are known as Balkan countries, Balkan nations. And further east, there's Bulgaria and Romania, and Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, these are known as Baltic nations. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And then there are Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and Iceland. These countries are known as Scandinavian countries. And then basically European Russia is there. The border of Europe and Asia is demarcated by Ural Mountain. If you open your atlas, see the world physical Ural Mountain. Ural Mountain demarcates the border of Europe and Russia. And in south, if you see in south, suppose this is Ural Mountain, this demarcates the border of Russia and Asia and Europe, and then this border runs like this. This is the border of Asia and Europe. After this, the border runs like this, north of Azerbaijan and Georgia. North of Azerbaijan, this is Azerbaijan, this is Georgia. This is the border of Europe and Asia. This is along Ural Mountains, then along the border of Kazakhstan up to Caspian Sea, and then along the northern border of Azerbaijan and Georgia. Now, this is the border. Now, this is Black Sea. Now, Turkey is a part of Asia, and this Istanbul, which is a part of Turkey, is part of Europe. This is Black Sea, and this is Aegean Sea. Now, the border of Europe and Asia runs from this Black Sea, and this in between this water body is Sea of Marmara. This water body between Turkey, this Turkey and its part Istanbul, this water body is known as Sea of Marmara. This Sea of Marmara, this small water body, forms the border between Asia and Europe. In the east, it is connected to Black Sea by way of Bosphorus Strait. Strait means a narrow water body that separates two land area. And the Sea of Marmara is connected to Aegean Sea that lies to the east of Greece. This Sea of Marmara is connected to Aegean Sea by way of Straits of Dardanelles. Straits of So the border between Asia and Europe is demarcated by Bosphorus Strait, Sea of Marmara, and Straits of Dardanelles. And in the west, the border between Europe and Africa is demarcated by Straits of Gibraltar. Now, this is North Sea, this is English Channel, and this is Straits of Dover that separates British from France. This is Great Britain, UK, and these are the countries of Europe. Simple. First group of countries, Scandinavian countries, that is Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and Iceland. Second group of countries, Balkan countries, that includes Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, this Albania, Macedonia, Greece, then Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, and then this Baltic nation, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. West European countries, that is Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands, Great United Kingdom, Ireland. So, and then the central part, you see Italy, above Italy it is Switzerland, east of Switzerland it is Austria, then further east of Austria it's Hungary, north of Hungary is Czech Republic, and east of Czech Republic is Slovakia, below Belarus, and below Hungary it is Serbia. So these are the Central European countries. Now let us come on to Asia. Let us see the countries of Asia. Asia, basically this part of Russia is divided into two parts. It is also lies in Asia as well as it lies in Europe. Now in Asia there are various parts: South Asia, West Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Russian Asia. Now if you see South Asia, this map is slightly wrong. Should be like this. Now in South Asia we include Indian subcontinent, that is, open up the map of Asia. You can see Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. This comes under South Asia. Southeast Asia, you see countries: Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia. These countries are under Southeast Asia. Here, Indonesia is one such country that is scattered over numerous islands. Numerous islands are there. If you see Indonesia, this is Sumatra, this is Borneo, this is Celebes, this is Irian Jaya, this is Java, Madurai, Bali, Lombok, Sumbawa, Flores, and then Timor. These are the various islands of Indonesia. In eastern side, you see Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Taiwan, Philippines. Now here there are numerous water bodies. This map is not this like this. Numerous water bodies are there. If you see, this is Kamchatka Peninsula, and these are this is Kamchatka Peninsula, this is Kamchatka Peninsula, and these are the various islands known as Kuril Islands, which join Kamchatka to Japan. And further Japan, there are numerous islands, Ryukyu Islands, which join Japan to Taiwan. Thus, these are various fringing seas. Fringing seas are those seas which are bounded on one side by islands. Like Bering Sea is a fringing sea. See, Sea of Okhotsk, Sea of Japan, East China Sea, South China Sea. These are the various seas in the eastern part. They are connected by various straits. If you see West Asia, or you can see Central Asia. In Central Asia, just above India, you can see Tajikistan. Above Tajikistan, you can see Kyrgyzstan. In western side of Tajikistan, you will see Turkmenistan. Above it, there is Uzbekistan. In this region, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, there are two very important rivers, Sirdarya and Amu Darya, that happen to be the lifeline of this region. They originate from Pamir Knot and fall into Aral Sea. Now here, this is Aral Sea. Now this is bordered by Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Now here lies the Caspian Sea, which is shrinking. which is shrinking. The northern part of Caspian Sea happened to be the lowest part of Europe. Now, in West Asia, if you see here, apart from these countries, Kazakhstan and Mongolia are also there. Mongolia comes in East Asia, Kazakhstan in Central Asia. In West Asia, if you see Iran, Iraq, then see Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Jordan, Syria. If you further enlarge it, you will find here you find numerous small countries. Like along the eastern coast of Mediterranean Sea, there's a coastal country known as Lebanon. Now, up below Syria, Lebanon, then this is Israel, very small country, Israel. This is Lebanon, this is Syria, this is Israel, this is Jordan, this is Turkey, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. There are certain small lakes that is bounded by land on all sides. Here there are two important seas, Red Sea and Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf is bounded on one side by Iran and on the other side by Kuwait in the northern part, Kuwait and Iraq. In the western part, it is bounded by Saudi Arabia or UAE, Oman, and these small two countries, Qatar and Oman. These are countries, Iran, Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar and Oman. These countries surround Persian Gulf, and Persian Gulf is connected to Gulf of Oman. This is Gulf of Oman. This is Gulf of Oman. This is Persian Gulf. This narrow strait that connects them is known as Straits of Hormuz. Straits of Hormuz. In case of Red Sea is on one side bounded by Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Sinai Peninsula of Egypt, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Now, Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden by way of narrow strait known as Straits of Bab al-Mandab. So this is all about West Asia. Now let us come on to this countries of Africa. If you see Africa, we are just discussing the location of the countries, nothing more than that. Tomorrow onwards, I will start discussing individual country, its every aspect, vegetation, climate, mineral, industries, soil. You can raise any query. So as of now, we are just having superficial view. Here, Africa is African countries, see from east, Egypt. Now, a part of Egypt, that is Sinai Peninsula. Sinai Peninsula lies in Asia. Rest of the Egypt is in Africa. So Port Suez to Port Said, this Suez Canal acts as a boundary. This Suez Canal acts as a boundary between Africa and Asia. So African countries like Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad, Eritrea. Then you see Senegal. Within Senegal, there is a small country, Gambia. Gambia is entirely surrounded by Senegal. And to the east, there's Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau. And to the east of Guinea-Bissau, there's a country, Guinea. South of Guinea, you will find Sierra Leone and Liberia. Then further east, you will find Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, from west to east. Here, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Mali, Chad, Niger, Chad, Eritrea, Sudan, and further south, east south of Nigeria is Cameroon, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia. Now see, here you can see in the central part, countries from west to east. These countries are very important. We usually neglect these countries in the western part. See in atlas precisely Senegal, how it completely, it surrounds Gambia. Then east of Senegal, you find Guinea-Bissau. Then you will find this Guinea. Further south of Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon. Then Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia. Further south you come, you see very small country, Equatorial Guinea, south between Cameroon and Gabon. There's a small country between Cameroon and Gabon, a small country, Equatorial Guinea, whose capital, Sao Tome, is an island. Its capital is Equatorial Guinea. Its capital of Equatorial Guinea is an island known as Sao Tome. Now, south of Equatorial Guinea is Gabon, then Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, richly endowed with diamond and copper. Katanga Plateau is there. East of Congo, basically there's a Rift Valley. And there are three countries, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, then Tanzania and Kenya. Now, Angola, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Mozambique, South Africa, Madagascar. Now, in Africa, we'll discuss there's a huge Rift Valley. This Rift Valley of Africa begins from West Asia. In northern part of Israel, there's a Lake Hulla, from where the river Jordan originates. This Lake Hulla is connected to Sea of Galilee. From Sea of Galilee, Jordan River originates and falls into Dead Sea. All these are located in a Rift Valley. Then Rift Valley continues south. This entire Red Sea is located in Rift Valley. Then further, in here Rift Valley continues, starts from Lake Hulla, then Sea of Galilee, from where Jordan River originates. This Jordan River falls into Dead Sea. We'll discuss Israel का बड़ा सा map बनाऊंगा. I will draw a huge map of Palestine and Israel, where we'll discuss all these issues going on. As of now, you just understand. I'll discuss it in detail. This Lake Hulla, Sea of Galilee, Jordan River, Dead Sea, all are in Rift Valley. Then Red Sea is also in a Rift Valley. Then this Rift Valley moves like this. Lake Tana is in Rift Valley. Then this Rift Valley moves like this. Then you find numerous lakes, Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, Lake Tanganyika, second deepest lake. All are in a Rift Valley. Rwenzori mountain is also in Rift Valley. Then Lake Malawi is also in a Rift Valley. Lake Victoria is not in Rift Valley, which happens to be the third largest lake of the world. So these are the basic things about this Africa. Then see Australia. Australia, smallest continent. Now, Australia in the eastern side, you see on the eastern side of Australia, there's Coral Sea. This on the eastern side, this is Coral Sea. Then you see in north, it is separated from Papua New Guinea. This narrow strait is known as Torres Strait. This Coral Sea passes through Torres Strait, Gulf of Carpentaria, then connects into Arafura Sea, and this is Timor Sea. Australia is basically a very sparsely populated continent. In fact, you can divide Australia into this part. Western Australia, Northern Territory, Southern Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, Western Australia, Northern Territory, Southern Australia, New South Wales, this is Queensland, and this is Victoria. Western Australia, Northern Territory, South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and below is Tasmania. Tasmania is separate. Tasmania is a state. It is separate from the mainland by way of Bass Strait. We'll discuss in detail this Great Australian Bight, the Gulf of Spencer, Gulf of St. Vincent. We'll discuss Australia in detail. So this was all about the countries of the world. Now, it doesn't hold any meaning if you do not even know the location of the countries. You must know the location. Now, tomorrow onwards, I will start with Europe. I will pick up each and every country, mostly important ones like Portuguese, Spain, France, Italy, UK, Germany, and Norway, Sweden, Finland. And I'll discuss the nature of climate in those countries, soil, vegetation, mineral resources, industries, rivers, mountains. I will make you so much acquainted as if you have visited that place. Once you become acquainted, then you cannot forget it easily. Otherwise, if you try to cram coal mine, where's the coal mine, where's the iron ore mine, it is impossible. I will take you to that country and you will literally feel as if you have visited that country. And then you will move on to next country. This way, you will come to know about every aspect of the world. And this will lay down a strong foundation, very strong foundation for a future, for the further course of geography. You will find it very comfortable once you are well accustomed with those things. So for today, it's this much. And tomorrow onwards, we will start with uh, individual countries. And today we were having some technical issues because today is the first lecture. But tomorrow onwards at 7 a.m. But you must remember, bring Atlas with you. And wherever I go fast, just slow down me. Just send me message, slow down, so that I will slow down. If you want, I will dictate, no issues. I will, if you want, I am not accustomed to these digital boards. I make the map on my own. So that is causing, it is instead of giving me ease, it is giving me trouble. But still, this is the trend nowadays. So I will draw the map of individual countries. I'll discuss every aspect. I expect you also to draw the map along with me. And I'll keep on explaining the various things. Now, what is the nature of climate, nature of vegetation? And when I discuss those things, if you want to note down, you are online live with me, just ask me to slow down. I'll slow down my pace because I don't know. You must make me aware what should be the pace of teaching, because I am very much, since 18 years I am teaching over here. So these things are very much familiar with me. Maybe they might be totally new to you. So tomorrow onwards when we start, just remind me. I'll start from the very beginning and we'll discuss each and every aspect. What are resources? So you must make the map, you must take down the notes, because unless and until you take down the notes, you will never remember. Right? So today we are summing up over here, and no continent is left. North America, South America, all these countries were there, easy. So tomorrow be prepared. We'll start serious study from individual countries, right? There you go.